Yo, 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 yo. Back. Bad. Bad. The longest morning in the world, man. Longest morning ever. You heard me. Ride around all day looking for this goddamn dub. Only for 7 hours later find out this nigga was across the street. I ain't gonna lie, yo. Salute to my neighbors, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. Delta, man, I was riding around for Nico looking for. Man, Nico, let me tell y'all what happened real quick. Chloe is in heat. So, Nico, as you can hear him, been going off from the middle of the night, like 3 o'clock in the morning. This nigga just started barking, non-stop, howling. I said, what the fuck? So I ain't want to wake my son up, cause my son had to go to school in the morning, and I mean, they on the same floor. So I sends him out back. Make a long story short, this nigga get away. Now, I didn't take my kids to school. I come back. This nigga is gone. Like, been gone. Like, what the fuck? Nigga got about 3 hours. I'm like, man, what the fuck? So I'm riding around looking for y'all all morning. Probably not all morning. Probably from like 8 to like 10. Go in the house. Go to sleep. Wake up like 12:30. Look for him some more. Look for him for like 12:30 to 2. Go get my kids from school. Come back. I'm like, I'm gonna go out around like 6. Cause I'm thinking like maybe like the neighbors seen them this morning before they went to work. And put them in their house. And they was going like when they get off, they was gonna bring them outside for a walk or something. So something tell me look at the look at my video camera. I look at the video camera. I see that he left out the backyard and came around to the front. That was at 6:11. Then he went this way. You feel me? So I get in my car, ride around, don't see the nigga again. So I gets out my car, lady cross the street, coming out of the house with the nigga. Mind you, he been gone since 6 in the morning, nigga. This shit just happened like 4. You feel me? They been gone all fucking day, bro. But yo, we gotta talk about that Sharilla Mackenzie case. So I covered this case a while ago, like when it first happened, right? Basically, how it was presented at the time was her boyfriend was ready to break up with her. She a young girl. I think she was like 20, maybe younger than that, maybe 18. Man, hell yeah. And yo, she fucking drove 100 miles to a brick wall. Boom! Trying to kill herself though. But guess what? So she had the boyfriend in the car and the boyfriend homeboy in the car. She drive 100 miles straight to a motherfucking wall. Boyfriend dies. Boyfriend homeboy dies. She survives. Yeah, I need to. She survives. So, making a long story short, you know how this shit go. People tell her, oh, I think it was a mistake and da-da-da-da-da. So she got found guilty a couple days ago. And I want to go through this case, yo, to see what really happened, yo, because this is what I be talking about, how the system operate, yo. Yeah, they gave her a life sentence, right? But it's not like life no parole. It ain't life plus 30. They gave her 15 years to life. Now, for people that don't understand that, the low high number shit, basically, she has to do 15 years. She can do life, but at the bare minimum, she has to do 15 years. Yo, you know how many niggas have died for, and this after trial. You heard me? This ain't even no plea deal. This after trial, y'all. Y'all know how they be smacking motherfuckers' head at trial. Look how they just smacked, what's the calling them head? Isaiah Chance and them boys. Yo, you know how many people will, because a deal like that keeps the window of opportunity. It keeps the door open. It keeps hope alive. You feel me? Man, I don't know. They found her guilty and gave her that, bro. I just be like, damn, yo, they don't never do us like that, yo. I ain't gonna say never, but that shit is fuck. You gotta get a great judge. You know what I mean? We got 15-year-olds getting life in prison, life plus 30. This girl intentionally, from what the story was in the beginning. Now I don't know how the defense presented their case, and that's what I want to check into today. Like, how did they really, present that case? Because people was like conflicted as to, was it intentional? Was it by mistake? I don't think you can go 100 miles an hour to a wall by mistake. You know what I mean? What was the car malfunction or something? Yo, so we gotta figure out what the fuck happened with that case. But yo, you know how many niggas that got life right now would just love that opportunity? 30 nigga take 30 to life. You feel me? Just the opportunity, just to say I may can get out this one day. Man, they don't be giving niggas that, man. They be punishing niggas. Life plus 40, life plus 50, double life. You know what I mean? Double life plus 20. You know what I mean? Like, 2 people died in this situation. Whatever happened to the girl in California? What happened to that woman in California that killed all them people in that car accident? I think her name was Nicole something. Nicole. Did the California woman that killed 6 people in a car crash go to jail yet?
Yes. Nicole Linton, the woman responsible for the 2022 Windsor Hills crash that killed 6 people, is currently in jail. She is being held without bail, awaiting her trial, but hasn't been convicted yet.
Nicole Linton. Nicole Linton update.
According to ABC7, Nicole Lorraine Linton, now 39, remains jailed without bail in connection with the August 4th, 2022, crash at the intersection of La Brea and Slauson Avenues.
Man, they're gonna try life her motherfucking ass. And she was experiencing some type of, I don't know what the fuck she was experiencing. But I did a video on her a while back, right? Because there was so many people calling for like the execution of her. So in the video I did, I was showing people like, yo, and we gotta stop doing that. Because I found several cases. I'm talking about white women drunk off meth, 2-3 people dead, probation. You heard me? In a car crash. 8 years. Like, it was just crazy numbers, y'all, but they gonna life her motherfucking ass. One girl killed 3 kids. I don't even think they gave her no more than 30. Now, what made me even bring this case back up about the Sharilla Mackenzie girls, because I seen, so they got voice recordings, jailhouse phone conversations between her and her mother. And y'all know how they always say, motherfucker, don't be showing no remorse. This girl showed no remorse for the victims in her case. But yet, always seem to get a favorable sentence. The sentence be remorseful as a bitch. Shit crazy. But yeah, yo, let's see what the fuck going on. The fuck going on. See, that's why I put his ass outside last night, y'all. That nigga just won't stop barking, man. They won't fucking stop. Alright, so let me show y'all the video that I was saying the other day. That made this even come back on my radar. He was talking to our mother. They supposed to have a whole bunch of these jailhouse recordings. So now Jake exposed for changing narrative to protect Tekashi 6ix9ine. Oh, that's Byron Blake. You did change the narrative. We already covered that BG shit though. Let me see. Here you go.
Today we're gonna be okay, right?
No, but you know.
But we'll get through it.
Either way, I'm not gonna be okay. But if I get like fucked over and like charged with murder, like I will not be okay.
No, we'll just move on to the next fight. That's all.
How? How is it? That's not gonna be for like a year or so. Like.
Well, you still might have to serve time anyway. It'll just be time served. Okay?
Oh my God! Look, Mom, I'm not worried about doing. Understand that I'm gonna have to do some time. I mean, like
that's what I mean.
I'm not worried about that. Like I obviously would rather not. I feel like I shouldn't do any, but that's how it had. This has to be in the situation. That will make the families happy. But murder, like
no, hell
like
no.
That's just horrible. And
nope, that's what I mean. So we're just gonna go fight.
Yo, she is playing the shit out of victim. God damn.
Fight, and guns ablaze.
And I'm so for real. You contact who I told you to contact, like that famous person.
I'm on.
Yep. Yes, but like for being
and
dead ass serious.
The other one too.
I don't know who the other one is, but yeah, you know, I don't know who that is. But also, and then, like you can get a protest going and shit, like.
Yeah.
Like I'm dead ass serious, like a whole ass protest, baby. Like.
Me too.
I don't know.
I got yeah. So don't worry about it. Just if it does, which I can't believe it will, we just got to move on to the next round. That's all. Okay. Just keep your chin up, keep the faith, and I hope that she can see, and I hope it doesn't go that route because that would be ridiculous.
Yes, and then honestly, if the judge does that, I'm just gonna know that like she like has like some like weird ass shit going on. No, like, I'm just gonna know that like it was bribery or something. That's all I could think of. Like people, like, and then why was the judge being so mean to you?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care.
I was about to just be like, just stop talking to her because she clearly doesn't care. Why are you talking about her so much and not the victims?
But I did. That's how I started. I even turned around and addressed them. So it's okay. She can say whatever she wants. It doesn't bother me. We are moving on. Here, I just need to say whatever happens.
Let's see what the fuck going on with this case. Cause Long Crime Network did something on it. They got a whole bunch of recordings of this girl. Here you go, right here.
You're under arrest for aggravated murder ×2.
We're following fallout from the documentary that everyone is talking about.
Look at this shit.
Mackenzie Shirilla spoke out for the first time since her murder conviction in connection to the crash that killed her boyfriend Dominic Russo and a friend Davion Flanagan. But I'll show you the parts of the story you didn't see in the documentary.
How you guys did this on the weekend is just, look, you like this okay. There's a warrant for, we would have brought her right down here with no problem. It's just unbelievable.
And why Mackenzie's dad now appears to be in big trouble after the movie's release. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
And yo, how is it allowed to put out a movie before her conviction? You know, because once you get convicted, you can no longer profit off this movie. So it seemed like it was real strategic to put this movie out before she actually got her verdict.
Hey guys, real quick, before we get into this episode of On the Case, I need to tell you about this free app, Upside, that can get you cash. Not just what Mackenzie had to say, it's and use promo code first time. We see Mackenzie Shirilla give an interview from inside of prison as she is serving 15 years to life since her conviction in 2023. One of the more shocking parts of this
look, y'all, and you see how 50, yo, that is a hell of a deal. I think most lifers will take that. I think every lifer will take 15 years of life, hands down. It's better than life, no parole. Better than life plus 20. It's better than life with parole. That means anytime after that 15 years, she can be released. And more than likely, she is going to be released.
Documentary, it's not just what Mackenzie had to say, it's what her parents had to say. And there's been a lot of criticism of them after this movie was released. And to this day, they say their daughter's innocent. Mackenzie says she doesn't remember what happened on the night that she drove a car 100 miles per hour into a wall, killing Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan. Now, the evidence proved otherwise. A judge in Ohio found Mackenzie Shirilla guilty in 2023, and she is serving 15 years to life in a prison in Ohio. Now, the fallout that we're talking about today has to do with Mackenzie's dad. He is featured prominently in this documentary.
So
he unapologetically supports his daughter and says that she is innocent and that the judge got it wrong. But now it appears he's in trouble with his job because of what he said in the documentary. We're going to talk about that in just a moment, and we're also going to talk about some of the parts of the story that you didn't see in this documentary. It's a really good documentary, but I was surprised that there were some parts of the evidence that prosecutors laid out in the trial that didn't make it into the movie. So let's dive into how we got to this point. Mackenzie Shirilla was 17 years old, and in 2022, she is dating Dominic Russo. And she, like a lot of teens, is very active on social media back then. These are some of the images that she posted to her TikTok. And in 2022, she's dating this 20-year-old named Dominic Russo. This is a picture of the two of them together. They reportedly dated for multiple years. The couple actually lived together in one of Dominic's family's homes. The crash not happen.
So they did a documentary painting her in a favorable light. Why the fuck Diddy documentary ain't do that? You know what I mean? I just be wanting y'all to see the difference in the coverage of how they treat us. And this is why I am the way I am, yo, when it comes down to certain situations. This is why I be speaking so loud about AB and what's going on with him. Because it's obvious that the coverage is different. It's always different. And I told y'all, man, the how important media is in shaping public opinion. She probably got a lot of support based off that documentary, depending on how they depicted her.
And it was likely that she was going to be Dominic's wife today. But prosecutors say that story, it couldn't be further from the truth.
Oh, look, hold up. How they paint it?
Years, the couple actually lived together in one of Dominic's family's homes. The crash not happened. It was likely that she was going to be Dominic's wife today. But prosecutors say that story, it couldn't be further from the truth. They say don't let the pictures fool you. This relationship was far from perfect. In fact, they say this relationship was toxic. Dominic's family testified in the murder trial that the couple would often fight. Dominic's mom said that the couple would make threats against one another.
Like before, you lied. You lied and said you would never lock me out of the house again. That is why we got back together last time we broke up. But I forgot. You can never keep your word because you were.
You broke up with me earlier. You really broke up with me earlier.
This is your last chance to open the door, or you are not coming out of this house all night because I will not leave.
That's a phone call between Mackenzie and Dominic that was part of the evidence in the case, and it just gives you a glimpse into what this relationship was like. And in the early hours of the morning, on July 31st, 2022, this relationship turned deadly. That's video of Mackenzie behind the wheel, driving more than 100 miles per hour into a wall around 5:30 in the morning. Here's video from before the crash. of the car with Mackenzie driving, fully in control, rounding the corner at a normal speed before prosecutors say Sharilla floored it. Dominic was in the car as well as Davion. Both of them died. But at this point, during the crash recovery, it didn't appear that we were dealing with a murder.
Radio. This car's split in two. Radio, there's an occupant inside. Send us a squad now.
Westwood on the 3 on Alameda.
This is rookie. Oh my God, dude.
This is video of police rushing to the car to see if anyone survived. Investigators believe that Mackenzie crashed around 5:30 in the morning, but this car wasn't found until about an hour later. And here's a clear picture of just how bad this car was manufactured. Now, in the Netflix documentary, The Crash, producers don't touch on this, and I was surprised they didn't, because it was a key piece of evidence for prosecutors in the murder trial. And that evidence is, now in the vehicle, police found a weed pen, a bong, and multiple grams of marijuana. That certainly played a role in the story that prosecutors told as well. And Mackenzie's dad, in the documentary, talked about how his daughter regularly used marijuana. But prosecutors argued because she often smoked weed, that it wasn't something that would have impaired her and led to her putting her foot on the gas, as the black box in the car showed, and flooring it into a wall at 100 miles per hour. Prosecutors say she was not impaired at the time of this crash. As Mackenzie was recovering in the hospital, she played the role of a grieving girlfriend publicly. Prosecutors would later argue that she wanted to turn that role as a victim into something where she could make money, working as a model.
Shortly after the crash, Strongsville police were notified that they had received concerning emails from the community that the defendant and her mother were seeking employment with the Los Angeles modeling agency. Mackenzie Shirilla said to Vitali, "Thank you for the comment. I would love to work with you guys. I've been emailing you guys a lot. Such a great opportunity. Thank you."
A classmate shared this text message with investigators that shows Sharilla asking for him to go get pictures of her from Dominic's room so she could put them in Dominic's casket at his funeral so, quote, he can be with me forever. Sharilla also went to a concert in the months after the crash in a wheelchair, as you can see here. Prosecutors used it as trial to once again prove that she was not a mourning girlfriend, but was trying to capitalize on what had happened. Now, if you watch the documentary, there were also people who were friends of Mackenzie Shirilla who argued it wasn't in her character that she would do something like take the lives of two people, including the life of someone who she had dated for a long period of time. That's something that prosecutors didn't buy. It's certainly something that the judge that decided the verdict in this case did not buy.
The police were provided additional videos of the defendant from her wheelchair as she attended
she made out like a motherfucker
down in the flats. And again, Your Honor, I'm introducing these to the court to show the shocking lack of remorse. This was something that was being exhibited while the investigation was still going on, before she was charged and arrested in November of last year. And these were the sort of things that were coming to the police, and the shocking lack of remorse, coupled with the fact that the defendant was reported driving an automobile shortly after this event, that she was seen in Strongsville again driving a car. In spite of the fact that, as her mother testified, she got dizzy sometimes from a condition that she had to take salt pills for, in spite of the fact that it was, in fact, her mother who provided her with the car that she used to take Dominic and Davion's life.
But as Mackenzie played the part of a victim, authorities built their case, and in November of 2022, she was arrested.
Where's she? I'm back there. Can I have your key, please?
Could you please be careful taking this one?
The fuck type of shit is that? Nobody's gonna ask you any questions, so y'all don't want her to incriminate herself? Okay. First time I ever heard that said before.
You got it.
So it doesn't break the bracelet.
You got it. You got it. No.
Thank you.
You got it. Okay. Just keep your hands right here. not gonna tighten these, okay? I don't want to hurt you. You good? Are they good? Thank you. All right. This cruiser right here?
Actually, he took her out of the car and we did not.
Okay. Do you have anything out of pockets, anything like that? That's your head going in.
Yeah, she probably do 20 years, maybe. So she gotta do 15 at the minimum. She might do about 17 years for this shit.
Go. Okay.
She gonna come
This
home
is video of
still young.
Sharilla in the back of the cruiser being taken to the county jail. She seems solemn. She seems emotional.
What happens now? What am I doing?
Okay, well, Mackenzie's 18, so,
The lawyer said they called and said that, not to talk to any cops, that she's legal counsel.
yeah, and we read her rights, she's 18, and we are not gonna ask her any questions, we have nothing to ask her.
I mean, she
so
can
we're not
do
gonna ask
life.
her anyway.
See, but this the thing. They still giving her hope. They don't be giving us hope, yo. I mean, 15 years to life, which means at the minimum she gotta do 15. The maximum she could do life. But that's a lot of window. From 15 years of life is, she got a window to come home, a large window. They don't be giving us those type of deals, yo. And she got found guilty for this. This wasn't no plea deal.
So when we're done with our booking process, she will likely be processed downtown, we'll transport her downtown.
That is video of Mackenzie Shirilla's mom at the police station after her daughter was taken into custody. Again, Mackenzie's mom and dad defiantly stand by their daughter, saying that she is innocent, even though prosecutors would point to the black box of the car she was driving, showing that the gas was pressed down to the floor. There was no effort to brake whatsoever. Here is video of Mackenzie's dad showing up at the police station. Here's what he says to authorities.
I need to speak to my daughter because you guys aren't allowed to speak to her at all. That's from the lawyer. He does not want you guys speaking to her. And I can get him on the phone and he can tell you that over the phone if that works, or I can go in and tell her not to open her mouth. How you guys did this on the weekends is just
Yeah, that shit do not work like that, bro. She's an adult. She's 18 years old. Yo, these motherfuckers, they just do anything. They better not let them do that, man. You can't just barge in a room. She's an adult, man.
just go, hey, there's a warrant for, we would have brought her right down here with no problem. It's just unbelievable. I mean, 18.
So the warrant was issued today, so we executed it today. The warrant wasn't issued earlier.
We could have made a phone call, couldn't you? You got your creeper out in front of the yard watching.
So, she can't take any, she's an adult, she can't take any phone calls right now. She'll be transferred downtown.
Okay, I don't know when.
Service just called to advise.
She'll be transferred downtown.
Okay, well, I still need to speak to my daughter so she understands what her, not to say anything to you guys.
Okay, and I don't know about the phone, we'd have to ask about that.
That's what we looking like. At least they tried to.
I do need it. I have other children.
Then that's how we communicate.
Yeah, and that's how we communicate.
Okay, so
I do need my phone.
I mean, we had to roll out the whole mess to pick up an 18-year-old girl who can hardly walk out of a hospital visit. It's just beyond me.
So we follow the law, that's what we're doing today. So the phone that was in her hand is the one that we took, but I have to check with the detective to find out what's going on with that. I don't know the answer to that.
Can we find out? I do need it like right now.
Okay, let me at least
I have
ask.
another child.
No, I get it. So we got a lot to do.
Thank you.
Then am I going to have a 2-minute conversation with her?
You cannot talk to her about these issues, no.
Why doesn't she get a phone call? She's arrested. Why don't she get a phone call?
She was just brought in. They're going to process her. As soon as they get the time for her to make a phone call, she will be able to make a phone call.
You just need to advise her. She has a lawyer.
She's a lawyer. She does have a lawyer.
She is 18 years old and she could speak that.
Yeah, but she's a dumb 18-year-old that just turned 18.
Well,
You guys are, no,
She's dumb.
all the kids nowadays are dumb. And these guys are going to take advantage of it. She's not allowed to speak to you guys. I'm telling you that.
Her attorney can call us.
Don't ask her any questions. She's not allowed to speak to you.
Mackenzie's dad is now facing his own issues after this documentary dropped on Netflix. Before we get into that, I want to talk about Mackenzie's trial. So it's 2023, and Mackenzie, again, she argued, and she still argues to this day, that she doesn't remember what happened that night. She has no recollection, she says. Mackenzie opted for a judge to decide her innocence or guilt, not a jury. And that judge found Mackenzie guilty on 12 charges. 4 counts of murder, 4 counts of felonious assault, 2 counts of aggravated vehicular homicide, 1 count of drug possession, and 1 count of possessing criminal tools. At sentencing, this is what Mackenzie said.
Is there anyone else?
40, like plus 40.
Mackenzie, you don't have to speak if you don't want to. It's up to you. Okay? You can sit if it's more.
Now you can hear there that Mackenzie still claimed what happened wasn't her fault. And if she had appealed, her defense may have pointed to what they believed was a lack of evidence proving that she knew what she was doing. Mackenzie's mom addressed the court, and it did not go well.
She would never, ever, ever murder the love of her life. Okay?
You can't do that.
For Halloween, for 3 months after the accident,
you can't do that.
She would wear his clothes.
They just ain't let Sean Gates' right mother. They cut Sean Gates' right mother off as soon as she start saying shit like that. The case is already done. You can't speak toward the guilt or innocence. In this phase, all you can speak to is her character.
She would only eat the snacks he ate. She would only listen to the music he wrote, okay? She was laying in bed for 3 months crying. There was a shrine of him next to her with photos and things that he liked, and this flower that lights up that he got her because he wanted it to be fresh and alive forever. It's like a little Beauty and the Beast flower. Okay, she's got this shrine of him next to her. So she was crying for 3 months. So her friends asked if she wanted to go out trick-or-treating. It was Halloween, and it was at OU. And she didn't even want to go. She said, I don't know, should I go? She couldn't even walk yet, barely. So I told her, I said, baby, please go. It's Halloween. You've been laying for 3 months crying, only listening to his music. Please go. Have just a moment of fun. A moment of fun. So we told her to go. My husband drove her. I brought her back home. She just needed a second of fun from losing her whole world. Her whole world. So that was us. We told her to go. And that concert she went to with Dom's cousin, Abby, they picked her up. They brought her there. That was Dom, Mackenzie and Dom and Abby all decided to go to this concert together while they were in the hospital. That was for Dom. Everything she did after the accident was either in honor of him, to be close to him, or just to be by him any way that she can. She's like devastated and tragic. He was the air that she breathes. Okay, and they went with his cousin. We spent all kinds of time with him after the accident. What was the other thing?
I'm hearing an awful lot about your daughter. I'm not hearing very much about the 2 dead people.
Dominic, okay, I'm asking you for a leniency because this was a tragic accident that she does not remember. And Davion, he's a new friend. And I'm so sorry.
What does that mean? His life is worthless?
No.
Yo, these people crazy. Hey, these people is fucking crazy, yo. And that's the funny thing about it, right? They always say, we don't take accountability. Man, shit. Nigga. Man, we ain't no way we can get away with this level of being unaccountable in life. You heard me? Yo, we won't even make it off our block being this unaccountable of things and situations.
No, not at all. They all loved each other. They all spent every day together. You know what I mean? I don't know.
And isn't that part of the problem, Mrs. Shirilla?
Sorry?
Isn't that part of the problem, that they all trusted each other? Isn't that part of?
It's not a problem at all. It was
It's a
wonderful.
problem how they all ended up in the car together and two of them ended up dead.
I understand. I understand what it looks like. I'm saying that it was a tragic accident. She would never.
Well, we're going to have to disagree on that.
I understand.
Right.
Then it was the judge's turn to speak.
There's only one person who's responsible for the pain of everyone.
Now this is all this. So they did it. They got a Netflix documentary. They left all of this out. So the Netflix. So you heard in that last phone conversation, she got some Hollywood people behind her for whatever reason. So they put out a documentary, and it must paint her in a favorable light. Yeah, but you drove 100 miles an hour to a brick fucking wall. Come on now. And we seen how she made that motherfucking right turn. You was like Yo said, she was completely in control. That shit wasn't no goddamn mistake.
That person is you, Mackenzie. Nobody else is responsible. This isn't the fault of Dominic's family or Davion's family or your family. And I know that each of you have asked your questions to yourselves, what if? What if I had done this or that? The truth of it is, none of us can control the intentions of another. And when there is a purposeful intent to harm or kill someone, it is the perpetrator alone who bears the responsibility for the choice and the consequences and the harm that follows.
See, my thing is, yo, I don't have no problem with her sentence. I'm just saying, yo, treat us the same, man. God damn, like, treat us the same way, man. They be trying to give us, man, treat us the same way. That's it. That's all. Just keep it fair, man.
The difficulty for sentencing today, honestly, is whether or not I believe you should get consecutive sentences. I'm troubled that should I give you a concurrent sentence, that people will believe that somehow I'm being disrespectful to one of the victims. And on the other hand, I have to weigh the punishment. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. That won't be up to me. That will be up to the parole board, and that will be up to you to a great extent. I understand that the pain in this room wants me to impose the harshest sentence. But I don't believe that would be the appropriate sentence, because I do believe that Mackenzie will not be out in 15 years.
In the documentary, it says that Mackenzie's appeal was denied. There is a little more context to that I want to talk about here in just a moment. But let's talk about Mackenzie's dad. He works as a teacher at a Catholic school in Cleveland. His name is Steve Shirilla, and he teaches art and digital media at Mary Queen of Peace School. This week, he was placed on administrative leave because of, quote, poor judgment. According to local media outlet Cleveland 19 News, Mary Queen of Peace School reportedly sent this following email to parents, quote, "Dear Mary Queen of Peace School parents, families, and guardians, we are investigating allegations made on social media that one of our teachers has demonstrated poor judgment. Upon learning of the allegation, the school acted immediately and placed the teacher on administrative leave. The investigation is ongoing. We want every parent and family to know that the safety, well-being, and trust of our students remain among our highest priorities. We take all student concerns seriously and are committed to responding promptly and responsibly whenever concerns are brought forward. While we are limited in what we can share during an active personnel investigation, please know we are reviewing the matter and will provide additional communication as appropriate. We appreciate your continued support of the Mary Queen of Peace School community." Now, Mackenzie's dad confirmed to this television station, Cleveland 19 News, that he has been placed on administrative leave. And he also told the TV station that he's upset with the documentary. He's upset with how it was edited. But he also says he still believes that his daughter is innocent. Now, at the end of the documentary, you saw a part where they say that Mackenzie Shirilla's appeal was denied. There's a little more context to how that went down. There are some important dates to remember when it comes to how the trial proceeded for Mackenzie Shirilla. Sharilla was found guilty on August 14th, 2023. She was sentenced on August 21st, 2023. Her attorneys filed an appeal on October 24th, 2024. Her attorneys argued there wasn't enough evidence to prove that Mackenzie meant to kill Russo and Flanagan. But then in March of this year, her appeal was rejected, and it wasn't based on the facts of the case. It was denied because it was filed too late. And in March, an appeals court said they were not going to let her appeal her verdict. Now again, Mackenzie Shirilla is serving 15 years to life. It is possible that she could be released on parole when she's roughly 34 years old, which would be in 2038. However, again, it is also possible that she spends the rest of her life in prison. That will do it for On the Case, presented by law.
Yo, why we don't get them type of deals, man? That ain't even no deal. That's a sentence. Mackenzie Shirilla. Sharilla Mackenzie. Mackenzie Shirilla. Put the credits left out. Check this out. That shit crazy. Nah, saying no.
What do you mean it is?
She gotta do at least 15 years. She gonna get out.
Aggravated vehicular homicide.
I was just kind of shocked, really. I didn't really know how to process it all.
Damn. What the fuck, man?
Heart splitting too.
It truly was a horrific crash site.
There's a occupant inside. We're gonna bust the window out.
I just felt like there was more to the story than just an accidental crash.
Hey True Crime Besties, welcome back to an all-new episode of Seriously.
Yo, that takes some out. Yo, to drive 100 miles an hour to a wall is crazy, man.
Was telling you about this case that they just heard about and that they can't stop researching or thinking about or talking about. So, again, if you're brand new, that's what we do over here. If you enjoy, they had an overall tumultuous relationship. They would break up, get back together, and then they would do it all over again. The pattern just was on a repeat. And I know that that can be sort of a vague statement, saying that a relationship, is tumultuous. But we're going to get into their relationship more in just a little bit here, so stick with me, because a lot of information has come out since I first covered this case. Davion was one of Dominic's close friends. According to news reports, Davion, Dominic, and Mackenzie were hanging out at a party and smoking a little bit of weed the night leading up to the crash, and Mackenzie and Dominic offered to give Davion a ride home. Mackenzie was described by people who knew her in high school as selfish and entitled, and she never had to really take any accountability for her actions. She always just kind of got away with everything. After Mackenzie began to recover from the accident, many of the posts on her Instagram and TikTok really upset people as well, and we will get into specifically what she posted here shortly, don't worry. Most of her social media has now been deleted, so I couldn't find much except for a few screenshots here and there. However, people in the community who knew her from school commented on social media about Mackenzie's behavior, and all of those comments are still public. Some of the posts said that her parents knew about her drug use, and that her mom would like some of the pictures that she posted when she was smoking weed. And some pictures sparked outrage because people thought that she just was moving on with her life, as if nothing ever happened, with no remorse at all. There were also some pictures Mackenzie posted with her and her friend dressed as a weed for Halloween, which also caused a huge stir online. Several classmates weren't surprised that this horrific tragedy resulted from Mackenzie's actions, even going as far as to say that she probably would have killed someone one day anyway, and that she only cared about herself and herself only. Other people felt like Mackenzie had definitely done drugs, and that is what caused the crash. And the police seemed like they weren't doing anything about it. And now this was another situation where Mackenzie would just get away with her selfish and dangerous behavior once again. Well, all of that online speculation and discussion over what happened that tragic night wouldn't matter for much longer because a few days after Halloween, everything changed. It turned out that the police were not letting Mackenzie get away with anything, and they had been conducting a thorough investigation this entire time. On November 4th, 2022, Mackenzie was arrested.
This is why you have to discipline your children, man. You cannot have your kids going out into this world believing that the world owes them something. You feel me? Like, I don't give a fuck if you white, black, Hispanic. That is, you setting your child up for failure, man. Like, everybody want to be the nice parent, but sometimes that shit don't work. You got to put some type of structure in your children, man. And I think in her mind, she honestly thought she was going to get off on this. You heard her talk about it. I mean, I know I'm going to do sometime, but I don't think I deserve life. Bitch, the fuck you mean? Like, hold the fuck up. Like, what you mean you don't deserve life? You drove 100 miles an hour to a brick wall with 2 people on that bitch. Intentionally. The fuck, if that don't deserve life, then I don't know what does. And 2 people died.
According to court documents, Mackenzie faced a total of 18 charges. Counts 1 and 2, aggravated murder. Counts 3, 4, 5, and 6, murder. Counts 7, 8, 9, and 10, felonious assault. Counts 11 and 12, aggravated vehicular homicide. And all of these charges were related to that crash on July 31st, 2022. Count 13, trafficking. Count 14, drug possession, and both of these charges were for the magic mushrooms that were found inside the car. Count 15, possessing criminal tools, and this was for a digital scale that was found in the car. So there were 15 charges in total related to the car crash and to the deaths of Dominic and Davion. The other 3 charges were for allegedly breaking into the Columbia Church of God in Columbia Station on July 19th, 2022. Those charges were count 16, breaking and entering, count 17, vandalism, count 18, desecration. Mackenzie's blood test from the hospital revealed that she had THC in her system and that she was likely high at the time of the accident after their investigation and talking to witnesses who saw her that night. Even though mushrooms were found in her car, this was apparently not in her test result. Mackenzie's bail was set at $500,000, but she didn't get bailed out of jail and remained in juvenile custody until it was time for trial. The body cam footage of Mackenzie's arrest was finally released in 2025, and I have to be real with you, it's an absolute doozy. And I don't use that word lightly. I personally hate that word. And I don't want to give too much away before I show you guys some of the clips, which for those of you who are listening to the audio version of this, you'll be able to hear what's happening, but I do encourage you, pop over to YouTube, watch the visual as well, because I think that will provide more context. But what I have to say is that Mackenzie shows absolutely zero remorse. Zero remorse for any of the crimes that she was being charged with.
Discover your new Cadillac right now at Cochran Cadillac.
Entitled child.
Step out for me. I'm Detective Kazoo. I'm the one who's been investigating the crash. You're under arrest for aggravated murder ×2. Okay? Nobody's gonna ask you any questions. Nobody's gonna bother you. Can I have your key, please?
Could you please be careful taking this one off so it doesn't break the bracelet?
You got it. You got it. Okay, Mackenzie, I'm gonna take your handcuffs off and like all the jewelry and everything come off, okay?
I can't wear any of it.
No, I need you to take it off while you're in jail right now.
I can't wear these.
No, unfortunately, everything's gonna have to come off right now once we know when the detective comes back and we know for sure what's going on. Everything's gonna be bagged up here. It's not going anywhere.
Sorry, this is just like one of those which is really hard to get off.
That's fine. Take your time.
Her first response to being told that she was being charged with murder was to take care of a bracelet. Take care of a bracelet so that it didn't break. And then, after being told that she could not wear any jewelry in jail, which obviously should be common sense, right? But I guess it's not all that common, who knows? She started to break down. That's what rattled her. That's what made her upset, because she couldn't wear jewelry into the jailhouse. I mean, again, it just kind of goes back, for me at least, into this spoiled, entitled young girl thinking that the world revolves around her. But anyway, back to her arrest.
The parents' fault. Ain't put no boundaries.
You guys know I'm always scared. And what I love is everything's in one place. Any public details about this case that were released. However, all that changed in March of 2023 when prosecutors and the judge agreed to try her as an adult. When the crash occurred on July 31st, 2022, Mackenzie was 17. Her birthday is on August 2nd. So she turned 18 just 2 days after everything happened. She had a hearing in April of 2023 via Zoom, where Mackenzie pleaded not guilty as the judge continued her bond at $500,000. But again, Mackenzie remained in custody. During the hearing, the prosecution told the court, the evidence in this case overwhelmingly indicates that these were intentional and purposeful deaths. On July 19, 2023, almost a year after the horrific crash, Mackenzie had her first pretrial hearing. During the hearing, Mackenzie did not accept a plea deal that the prosecution was offering, and her lawyer indicated that they were prepared for trial. In the U.S., you have a right to a trial by jury or a bench trial. If defendants want to waive their right to a trial by jury for whatever reason, they can, and this can be a defense strategy if, for some reason, they are worried about what a jury verdict would be. Some defendants may feel like they would have more of a fair shot if the judge were to decide their verdict based on the law, fearing that potential jurors would make their decision based on emotion and not the law necessarily. However, that isn't the only reason that people waive trial by jury. There are a number of reasons why people choose that route. Additionally, defendants do not have to provide a reason to the court for their decision to waive a jury trial. So with that, that's what Mackenzie chose, and her bench trial was set for August 7th. The first day of trial began on August 7th, just 5 days after Mackenzie's 19th birthday. During opening statements, the prosecution detailed all of the moments leading up to the devastating crash.
6:15 in the morning, Strongsville police and emergency personnel received the 911 call.
They revealed the black box inside Mackenzie's vehicle had been clocked at 100 miles per hour. Black boxes aren't the official term. It's an EDR or event data recorder, but these devices record driving and vehicle data from immediately before, during, and after an automobile crash. And that wasn't all. They also had cold, hard evidence to prove this. Because when the accident occurred, a nearby building security camera caught the entire thing on video. In the video, you can see Mackenzie's car going extremely fast before disappearing off the screen and ultimately crashing. The prosecution also said that this didn't just happen based on reckless driving either, and they would present a witness who overheard Mackenzie's threats.
That he observed at that time the defendant striking Dominic Russo with both hands, and that he overheard her make a statement, an admissible statement, and she said, "Dominic, I'm going to crash this car." We find that it is especially and important to her state of mind just 2 weeks later when she used a car to kill Dominic Russo.
Despite this, Mackenzie's lawyer, Mr. McDonald, of course, had a much different perspective. He argued against the insinuation of intent. Instead, he said that this was a tragic accident rather than a premeditated act.
How can you come to any conclusion other than, if anything, she's reckless? Is it just kids being kids? Is it Dominic grabbing the steering wheel? Is it Mackenzie maybe speeding and saying, "Oh my God, dark out, it's light, I'm coming up to this, I better do something," and she goes like that to avoid an accident, not acting purposely, but in fact trying to avoid it? Is it sudden acceleration, panic? Those are all possibilities.
Mr. McDonald also said that the side airbags going off in the final seconds before the crash could have contributed to the severity of the event. He said, and I quote, "It occurred in about 4.5 to 5 seconds before. It's a significant force that makes a huge sound. there's talcum powder or some type of powder that is let go. So if they only have 5 seconds of recordings, and those 5 seconds are all what happens after the airbag is deployed, how can you come to any conclusion other than, if anything, she's reckless? During the course of the 4-day trial, many first responders and other witnesses were called to the stand. It turns out that there was more to the crash than just that video of Mackenzie flying by at 100 miles per hour. There was another building that captured footage of Mackenzie turning on the street before pressing on the gas. In this video, you can see Mackenzie driving at a completely normal speed, braking as she prepared to turn as well. Her blinker was on and was signaled to the correct direction that she was going. This video was key to the prosecution's argument that this was intentional and it wasn't some wild situation where she was driving completely out of control the entire time. Even worse, experts spoke about the EDR box in Mackenzie's car and said that through
nigga jumping out that bitch, she probably still died. Or just been like extremely fucked up at 100 miles an hour. There wasn't no surviving that shit. But I don't even know how she survived. That's crazy.
their investigation, they were able to determine that Mackenzie had the gas pedal pushed all the way down and made no attempt to ever even use the brakes. The crash team analyst also said about 1 second before the crash, the steering wheel made a hard right turn of 142.5 degrees. It also showed the impact from a sign in the grass outside of the building, which may have triggered the airbags before slamming into the brick wall. Mackenzie's attorney questioned the analyst about the wheel moving in an attempt to insinuate that it's possible that one of the victims moved the wheel by saying that it's basically impossible to know who pulled that wheel and caused the crash. He also suggested that because it was dark, maybe it was hard for Mackenzie to see. But even in his defense, he conceded that Mackenzie's handling of the car was in fact reckless. When the prosecution reviewed the crash scene photos and the photos of the victims during their autopsies, everyone in the courtroom was extremely emotional, including Mackenzie. Dominic's mother, Christine Russo, testified. The courtroom vibe changed instantly when she began her testimony. Everyone could tell that she had once cared deeply for Mackenzie. After all, Mackenzie had even lived with them for a while. But the love story that she painted between Mackenzie and her son, Dominic, was far from rosy. It seemed like they were always at odds, with threats and arguments overshadowing the good times. She also brought up a text message that Mackenzie sent her after the crash, where Mackenzie said, "I remember turning onto the street and then my vision fades to black. It really kills me not being able to remember anything. I promise you I would tell you. I've been asking my therapist why I don't remember, and she said it's because of trauma, but I'm going to try to get hypnotized and make myself remember." Then Dominic's older brother, Angelo Russo, took his turn. The raw emotion in his voice said it all. He talked about how Mackenzie and his brother were constantly on and off again, saying, "I witnessed a lot of negative behavior from her to my brother, and that just kind of pushed me away as a big brother figure because she just wasn't fair to him." One of Dominic's friends, Christopher Hench Martin, was also called to the stand to testify. This was to testify about an incident between Mackenzie and Dominic in a heated fight where she threatened him. According to court documents, on July 17, 2022, approximately 2 weeks before the deadly crash, Mackenzie was driving her vehicle on Interstate 71 with victim Dominic Russo as the passenger when she threatened to immediately crash the vehicle. Mackenzie was upset over a disagreement between the two of them, which resulted in Dominic seeking the help of his mother, Christine Russo, through a phone call asking her to come and pick him up. Dominic's friend, Christopher Hench Martin, went to pick up Dominic and remained on the phone with Dominic during the incident. While on the phone, he heard Mackenzie state, "I will crash this car right now." Mackenzie exited the highway onto Route 82 between Pearl Road and Bagley Road. As the friend pulled up to get Dominic and Mackenzie's car pulled over to the side of the road, the passenger door opened, and the friend observed Mackenzie striking Dominic with both of her hands. Dominic then exited the vehicle and left with his friend. The prosecution also brought up another incident in July of 2022 between Mackenzie and Dominic. According to court documents, in July of 2022, within the same month as the deadly crash, Mackenzie again made multiple threats toward Dominic. Videos recovered from Dominic's cell phone revealed the altercation involving Mackenzie, where she can be heard repeatedly degrading Dominic, threatening him, and damaging his property. It is understood from the videos that Dominic was not comfortable letting Mackenzie inside of his home at the time, and he made multiple attempts to reason with Mackenzie, to calm the defendant down and communicate with the defendant in a better manner. Mackenzie refused these attempts and can be heard banging on Dominic's house door, demanding to be let inside. Mackenzie called Dominic a multitude of degrading and highly inappropriate names. Despite Dominic's efforts trying to reason with Mackenzie, she refused to listen and continued her erratic behavior. Exceedingly important are the threats made by Mackenzie to Dominic throughout the incident. She threatened to key Dominic's car if he would not let her in, and she verbally counted down multiple times in an attempt to force Dominic to let her in. She repeatedly told Dominic that this was his last chance to let her in, and she stated, and I quote, "You're gonna come open this door right now, or there's gonna be a serious fucking problem." She threatened to break the handle off the door and can be heard hitting and damaging the door as well. Mackenzie stated, and I quote, "Dom, I'm going to give you one last second or else I'm keying your car." Dominic then had to call his mom for help and stopped recording. Now that phone call that I just described has actually been made public. The original call was about 9 minutes long, but honestly, it doesn't really take the full 9 minutes to see that Mackenzie was threatening him. She was antagonizing him.
But I forgot. You can never keep your word. Because you are a little f***ing weak bitch.
You broke up with me earlier. You really broke up with me earlier.
This is your last chance to open the door, or you are not coming out of this house all night, because I will not leave.
Yeah, she
You
crazy.
literally broke up with me earlier. Like what is the point you're trying to, you broke up with me, earlier. Like, what
I didn't. I didn't.
You said we're not together. You really said that shit. You really broke up with me earlier. What are you trying to make? Why would I just let you in my house if you break up with me and you're threatening to break my shit? You're threatening to key my car, threatening to break the door.
You not let me in the house.
You're gonna key my car if I don't let you.
You don't let me in the house, yeah. Dom, if you do not open, you think I'm joking. You think I'm joking. I'm dead ass.
What? What are you dead ass about?
Okay, I'm gonna give you one last chance to open the door.
I can't open the door. I can't sit here and fight. We gotta go to dinner. To fucking see my grandparents. I can't sit.
Don't open the door. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
And then what? What would happen? What are you trying to say?
You're not coming to dinner. You're not going to dinner.
He underestimated the amount of crazy that she was dealing with. Seriously underestimated that girl. I thought she was playing. Shorty is entitled. Shorty entitled.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
You know that's exactly what I mean. You don't know exactly what I mean. You're gonna come open this door right now, or there's gonna be a serious problem.
I can't. No, you can't keep that. You can't keep making all these threats. I can't open the door.
Out of a place that you say is my home.
I didn't kick you out. You took all your shit and did.
She probably tried to kill yo even if he cut her off. Yeah, man. Yo probably had no out in this shit. This was going in bad regardless. Even if he cut her off, it probably would have been something similar. Yeah, man. This one of them situations where you gotta watch the red flags from the door. You don't even let it get this far. Once it get this far, it's too late.
They said we were done.
Did not say we are done. Dom? Okay, ready? I'm going to count to 10. The door's going to open, okay? You're going to open the door and stop hiding behind the door like a little bitch. If you hang up on me, we're done. I'm leaving.
Kenzie, there's nothing I could do. I can't.
There is. Stop being a little bitch.
I can't let you in my house with how you're acting. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, there's no way I should. Like,
Keep the handle off.
huh?
I'm just gonna break the handle off. It's already moving.
You can break the lock. Like, you really gonna break into my house?
That was
Yes, I will. I
that
will
was
break into
dialed up.
my house. You're right. I will break into it.
It's not your house. It's my house.
Dom, now open the door. Now open the door. You have 30 seconds left on the phone call to open the door. We're done.
So if you're wondering how all of these prior acts were able to be brought into trial in the first place, since it's technically 404B evidence, it's because the prosecution filed motions to allow it in, saying that it went to Mackenzie's motive. According to court documents, the prosecution believed Mackenzie's past threats and aggression toward Dominic provided an important perspective of how Mackenzie responds in situations where she is displeased or in disagreement with others. Further, the evidence shows that she was aware of her ability to cause harm to the victims, especially by means of her own vehicle, and how she could use the power of threats and control to ultimately reach the outcome that she desired. The other act's evidence confirms that there was no mistake or accident in deliberately crashing her car and ending the lives of the victims. Dr. Esther Steng, a Metro Health System trauma surgeon who worked on Mackenzie's medical report, was also a witness in the trial. She told the court that Mackenzie told their team at the hospital that she did not remember what led to the crash. The prosecution also asked the surgeon to read part of the medical report. She said, and I quote, "Patient then became tearful, processing heavy loss and a depression since her accident. Patient shared feelings of grief, guilt, and shame. Patient stated she wanted to die and that it was her fault for killing her boyfriend." One of the prosecution's theories was that Mackenzie was afraid that Dominic might break up with her or really leave her, so instead, she decided to kill him with her car like she had threatened to do in the past. And poor Davion, who was just innocently trying to get a ride home, was collateral damage, and Mackenzie didn't even care if he died too. However, some people who were at the same party before the crash didn't recall anything crazy going on between Dominic or Mackenzie that night. So either something must have happened in the car, or she planned on going through with it that night anyway. But the prosecution had even more damning evidence to prove this was, in fact, a premeditated, planned murder. Because there was evidence that Mackenzie had been to that area of the crash just 3 days beforehand, and they showed the courtroom data of her cell phone being in that vicinity. They suggested this as proof that she was familiar with the scene before the day of the crash and believe that this was her attempt to scope out the area and come up with a plan. It was also brought up that maybe Mackenzie was trying to kill herself along with Dominic and Davion in the car, but just happened to survive.
Yeah, that was our plan from the beginning.
Everybody, whether you want to build some luxury perk, I mean... However, Mackenzie's attorney said that she was not suicidal in any way. Mackenzie's mother took the stand near the end of the trial. She had a very different angle on what might have caused that tragic crash. She said that Mackenzie has a condition called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, a condition which causes dizziness. When the connection between the crash and Mackenzie's condition was brought up, her mom said that it could be. Mackenzie's aunt also testified with a much different story of what Mackenzie and Dominic's relationship was like. She believed that the two were honestly head over heels for each other, despite all of the rumors and talk about them having a rocky relationship. Many people felt that Mackenzie's mother's testimony was another example of her mom trying to excuse her daughter's bad behavior.
Sharilla is also facing charges of felonious assault and aggravated vehicular homicide. The judge says she'll deliver a verdict on Monday at 1 p.m.
And then the verdict was in.
There is nothing that I can do or say today that will return these two young men to their families. There is nothing I can say or do that will restore Mackenzie Shirilla to the life she had before July 31st, 2022. And there is nothing that I can say or do to restore the lives of these three families before the fateful moments on that day. This trial is a culmination of decisions made by one person, the defendant. Those decisions have forever altered the futures of 3 families, and of you also, Mackenzie. And your decisions forever robbed Dominic and Davion of the futures that they had before them. If there is one thing that can be taken away from this case, as painful as it is this. Every decision we make is important. Every action we make is important. Regardless of whether the decision is a good one or a bad one, or the actions are good or not, the result is the same. The consequences ripple through time and affect many more people than one might think at the time of the decision. In criminal cases, the state carries the greatest burden under our law, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. As I previously stated, I considered all the evidence presented. And at this point, I would like to comment specifically on Exhibit 802, the crash video. This is the type of evidence you can never unsee. You can never forget the visual or audio of this exhibit. It is chilling and tragic. As you review that exhibit, you know that you are watching the oncoming deaths of 2 people, and there's nothing that will stop it. The video clearly shows the purpose and intent of the defendant. She chose a course of death and destruction that day. Exhibit 802 crystallizes the deadly decision-making of the defendant.
Yo, she put on a
She
whole
morphs
fucking
from a
show, man.
responsible driver to literal hell on wheels as she makes her way down the street. Mackenzie alone made the decision to drive the car, to drive an obscure route.
She's
A route she
crazy.
visited a few days
I ain't
before.
gonna lie, yo, she is
And-
pissing me off. Like, you like cut the shenanigans, man. Like, why the shenanigans? You don't care like that for real. Yeah, man, you ain't care then. You know, ain't no point to start caring now.
A route and opportunity taken 5 minutes. Mackenzie alone chose the time to make the drive early in the morning, when any reasonable person would expect that few people would be nearby to witness it or offer life-saving assistance. She made these decisions despite knowing, as any reasonable person would, that her mission of death could have involved others, not even in the car with her. Other people, other cars, pedestrians. She had a mission and she executed it with precision. The mission was death. Mackenzie alone decided to push the pedal to the floor and demand the ultimate speed of that vehicle to 90 to 100 miles per hour. She alone decided what was to be. Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day. Finds the defendant Mackenzie Shirilla guilty of murder, to wit Davion Flanagan, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02A, is charged in count 2 of the indictment. Count 3, murder. The court, having had count 3 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant Mackenzie Shirilla guilty of murder, to wit Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02B, is charged in count 3. Count 4, murder. The court, having had count 4 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant Mackenzie Shirilla guilty of murder, to wit Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.02B, is charged in count 4. Count 5, felonious assault. The court, having had count 5 tried to it pursuant to waiver, finds the defendant Mackenzie Shirilla guilty of felonious assault, to wit Dominic Russo, in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.11 of the revised code,
They found
is
good on
charged
all
in count
counts.
5.
She supposed to got
of the
life for
indictment.
that shit, man.
Count 6, felonious assault.
Mackenzie was found guilty on all counts. In the video, you can see Mackenzie's family seated in the front row behind her, visibly upset and shocked. As Mackenzie was leaving the courtroom, you could hear her family speaking loudly to talk to her.
Love you, baby.
At Mackenzie's sentencing, the judge heard victim impact statements from the victim's family.
Your Honor, my name is Jamie Flanagan. I am the mother of the victim, Davion Flanagan. I want to share a small part of what we lost on 7/31/2022. My son, Davion, is and always will be so much more than part of. He was precious. He was an amazing soul with a heart of gold. He gave to the world what he wanted most in his own life: love. The kind of love that would rescue a friend in the middle of the night, no questions asked. The kind that would protect others and honor them. He made friends easily with his infectious smile. He was a gifted athlete. He had plans to go to barber school and open his own shop.
It might be 30 something by
My son
now.
did not have a clique of friends, but instead
75
was a
cents a
friend
day
to
or
all. He would go out of his way
That
to
shit
show
ain't no
love
island.
and
That
kindness
shit is
to
a day.
others, including those that were often cast aside by society, the less fortunate, the developmentally challenged, the hurting, and the unvalued. Davion made sure that everyone that crossed his path knew that he truly saw them, that he valued them, and that they were worth his time. Davion and my kids have had more than their fair share of heartbreak, of hardship, and of loss. Davion was adopted with his sisters from
Nothing
foster
for them
care.
jobs in there, man.
They're biological siblings. We are honored to be chosen, or to have been chosen, to be the parents. They're forever family. I am devastated by the loss of Davion. The world lost a truly special man. My girls lost their best friend,
That's fucked
their
up. She ain't had nothing
protector,
to do with none of
the
that shit.
one and only trusted family that has been by their side from day one. This alone, or he alone, understands the pain and loss that they have gone through and was always there for them. This fact alone breaks my heart for my girls, for my family. So many dreams shattered, a future stolen.
The girls look like they was mixed when they was
We will
kids.
never
They
get
look
to
like white
see the
girls,
amazing
man.
man that he was surely to become. His life was precious. Like I said, it was so much more than cargo. I pray daily for strength and perseverance for myself and for my family. I also pray that Mackenzie will find true remorse in her heart and true repentance. We thank all of those that worked so hard to help us bring justice for our son. We are forever thankful. Davion, we miss you terribly, but as Christians, we pray with hope. Thank you.
There goes sister right there.
The person entrusted the most because communion goes paid. Taught me
We are all left here alone.
Site that keeps us working together in honor of Dom. My mom tends to it every day for hours. Beautifully. Any further donations will go to purchasing updated.
And that she could never do something like this. And they continually, despite the verdict, refer to this as an accident and an unfortunate accident and tell you that she is also a victim. And there are just a few things that I think is important for the court to consider in determining a sentence today. Part of the evidence in this case and introduced in trial was evidence from the defendant's cell phone. There were search warrants executed on her various social media accounts, her school records, her medical records, things of this nature. And I think that who she actually was is directly contradictory to what is painted by the letter submitted on behalf of her today.
I'm not even cool. I'm just one of those girls that can do a lot of drugs and not die. Gotta figure like a pin, I'm gotta figure like a doll. Don't care if you think I'm dumb, I don't care at all. Candy best sweet if I wanna be adored. I'm the girl you die for.
I'm the kind of girl that can do drugs and like not die. I'm the girl you die for. Both of those videos were posted on her TikTok.
This company made an AI service platform that will make your IT team work so much.
Shorty was fucked up.
The crash, Strongsville police were notified that they had received concerning emails from the community that the defendant and her mother were seeking employment with the Los Angeles modeling agency. Mackenzie Shirilla said,
Yeah, this shit is crazy. They try to get modeling gigs off this shit. These motherfuckers is crazy.
things that he liked and this flower that lights up that he got her because he wanted it to be fresh and alive forever. It's like a little.
Who's saying that? Let's see what the fuck she said.
Mackenzie spoke and begged the judge for mercy.
The family. Oh God, and Davia, so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see how I never let this happen or do it on purpose. I
I'm
wish
glad
I could
people
remember what
realize that
happened.
crying
I'm
shit
just
does
so
not work
sorry.
in
I'm
court.
heartbroken. I loved Tom and Davia. We were all friends and Tom was my soulmate. I wish I could take all your pain away. And I'm so sorry. And to my family, thank you for the support and all the love you guys give. Thank you for raising me. I love you all so much.
Yeah, that crying shit, that shit don't take away nothing.
Coins.com.
The defendant, Mackenzie's family, will grieve for the future of their daughter. Their deaths were horrible, terrifying, and tragic. I will say again, if any reasonable person reviews Exhibit 802, there can be no doubt in your mind what happened this night. There can be no doubt of the absolute terror of the two people in that car.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, y'all. I couldn't imagine, y'all. That shit had to have been scary as a motherfucker, man. You can't jump out. I mean, like I said, you can jump out, but you going at 90 miles an hour, you jump out of a car, yo. You gonna suffer some serious injuries, if not die. You know what I mean? So that shit had to have been fucking horrifying.
The defendant controlled all the events. She chose the day. Specifically, she chose a day just before her 18th birthday. She chose to drive the car, the time to drive the car. She chose an obscure, previously scouted route through an industrial parkway. She chose the target to hit and the victims. She chose the means and the method to follow through. And she planned and purposefully executed the events of July 31st, 2022. The review of the evidence supports the factual findings, the forensic testimony, the testimony of the first responders, the testimony of the emergency room doctors who treated the defendant, the testimony of the coroner's medical examiner, testimony of those who knew the victims and the defendant, and the testimony of the BMV official who provided evidence that not only did the defendant deny any medical condition when applying for her license, which her mother co-signed and attested to, but also that just after the accident, Mackenzie renewed her driver's license and again denied any medical condition. In fact, the defendant was so concerned about driving that, as the state mentioned during the investigation, she asked if they could just suspend her license for 10 years. It is hard to fathom how a person could be concerned about their driving privileges.
Yo, fuck no, she ain't say
having
that.
just been responsible for the deaths of two people. There was no medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. The record is clear on the facts and the evidence. Her mother's uncorroborated statements without any medical testimony or records is not persuasive. It is also important to remember that even if Mackenzie intended to also die in this crash, that is irrelevant. A failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder. And even in a murder-suicide attempt, when a perpetrator executing the plan survives, the other death or deaths are still murder. There's only one person who's responsible for the pain of everyone in this room, and that person is you, Mackenzie. Nobody else is responsible. This isn't the fault of Dominic's family, or Davion's family, or your family. And I know that each of you have asked your questions to yourselves, what if? What if I had done this or that? The truth of it is, none of us can control the intentions of another. And when there is a purposeful intent to harm or kill someone, it is the perpetrator alone who bears the responsibility for the choice and the consequences and the harm that follows. The difficulty for sentencing today, honestly, is whether or not I believe you should get consecutive sentences. I'm troubled that should I give you a concurrent sentence, that people will believe that somehow I'm being disrespectful to one of the victims. And on the other hand, I have to weigh the punishment. there's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. That won't be up to me. That will be up to the parole board, and that will be up to you to a great extent.
Mackenzie was sentenced 15 years to life, meaning she will be at least 34 years old during the first time that she is eligible for parole. And unless Mackenzie shows true change, takes accountability.
She's not taking no motherfucking accountability. That girl ridiculous. That shit not even in her DNA. She don't know anything about that shit. They probably denied her first one, but I think she gonna get out eventually. But that's fucking crazy, man. Like, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine being in that motherfucking car. Bitch. Now I probably have flipped that bitch. Grab the steering wheel or something. I don't know. Ain't really nothing you can do at that high rate of speed for real. But yeah, make sure you hit that like button, man. I got some shit I gotta take care of. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.